Once upon a time, in a very big kingdom in the west, there lived a great king called King Afolabi. King Afolabi was a very handsome man with grace and allure, and had a kind heart, and he was talked about in his kingdom and beyond. Great kings and queens introduced their daughters to him for marriage because of his awesome qualities. Ronke, a princess from another kingdom, came with her father for a meeting in Afolabi's kingdom, where she had the opportunity to meet with Afolabi. It was love at first sight for Ronke. He was tall, handsome, and over it all, he was a king. Ronke couldn't ask for a better husband. She talked to her father and said, "Father, you have always asked me to find a man I love and bring him to you. I think I have found that man." She blushed as she talked, the image of Afolabi in her mind. "His name is Afolabi, the king of this kingdom. I know we would make the best couple," Ronke said to her father excitedly. Ronke, you indeed have good eyes, but I don't think he is available. He already have a fiancée and they would be getting married soon," her father replied. "No, no, no, I won't allow this. Afolabi is mine. We were meant for each other. If I approach him, he will fall in love with me and change his mind about his fiancée," Ronke said. Her father felt pity for her. Afolabi was indeed a fine young man, and any young woman would love to be his wife. But he was not in support of his daughter going after him. He believed it's a man's job to go after a woman he likes, and not the other way round. Ronke, being a very beautiful young woman, dressed in a seductive dress, applied feminine perfumes, and approached Afolabi's room. She knocked, and he told her to come inside. He asked if he could do anything for her, and she walked swaying her hips to enchant him. "Afolabi, I love you, and I know we will make the best couple. I am beautiful, and you are handsome. Our children would be gorgeous." Afolabi smiled and said, "I'm sorry, Ronke, but I already have the one I love, and I won't change my mind. You're a very beautiful woman, and any man would be lucky to have you." "I don't want any man, Afolabi. It's you I want," Ronke said. But Afolabi refused her advances. Ronke's anger bubbled up inside her, and she turned to him and said, "You will regret ever rejecting me." Afolabi didn't think about what she had said. He waved it off aside as something she said out of anger. Few days later, Ronke and her father traveled back to their kingdom. Soon it was time for Afolabi's marriage. He sent invites to many people, including Ronke and her father, King Femi. King Femi went, but Ronke made an excuse not to go. She couldn't watch the man she admired get married to someone else that wasn't her. King Afolabi got married to his queen, Simi. It was indeed a very big day. Few months into their marriage, Simi got sick, and this made Afolabi very worried. Simi couldn't eat or do anything else other than sleep. Afalabi suggested visiting a doctor or a herbalist, but Simi refused, saying she would be fine after some rest. But after some days, she wasn't getting better, so he called for the royal doctor, who checked her and found out she was pregnant. They were so happy. "Thank you for this gift, my queen. I can't wait to be your father. I know you will be the best mother to our children." Afolabi took good care of Simi throughout her pregnancy. Simi felt so happy. She couldn't ask for a more better husband than Afolabi. Afolabi was perfect. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Finally, it was time for Simi to give birth. She gave birth to a very cute baby boy. Happiness was evident on the faces of everyone. Exactly 1 week later, it was time for the naming ceremony of the young prince. People from far and near came to participate in the joy of the royal house. The boy child was called Ayobami, which means joy meets with me. Ronke heard of the birth of the prince. She went there bearing gifts. She took a beautiful flute that was in her possession for a long time. When she got there, the celebration was in full swing. She presented her gift to the prince. Afolabi was surprised that she came, but he was happy she did. He ordered the maids to prepare a spare bedroom for her to sleep for the night. Him and his queen thanked her for her wonderful gift to their son. Ayobami grew to be a very handsome young man, just like his father. A woman is seen giving an amulet to her first daughter, and she said, "This amulet was given to my mother by her mother. It has passed through the female generations in my family. Now it is time for me to give it to you, and you must give it to your first daughter at the age of 12, just the way I am giving it to you now. You must never forget to pass it on," the woman said to her child. Ayobami grew up to love music, and he specialized in the playing of flute. When he turned 15, his father gave him the flute because only then can he keep it safe. The flute was made with gold and gems, perfect gift for a king. Ayobami would play his flute for huge crowds, and many people felt at peace at the sound of his flute. Ayobami had two sisters, Folashade and Fumi, and a brother, Ade. Everything seemed to be going well for the royal family, but then an issue began. Semi noticed something strange with her first son. Whenever he would talk, a foul smell comes out of his mouth, even if he had brushed several times. She complained to her husband about it, and he took Ayobami to different herbalists and doctors, but nothing was found. Soon, people were complaining and making rumors about it. Ayobami couldn't talk to anyone. Even the females that were always around him now wanted nothing to do with him. Ayobami created a shell for himself and refused to let anyone in. His parents were worried for their son. What could be wrong with my son? Not even the priest could dictate the problem. Gods of our land, please send help to my son Ayobami, Afolabi prayed. It got to the point where anyone that spoke with Ayobami would cover their nose. His mother then suggested that he should wear a nose mask for the meantime until a solution is found. This made the villagers call him the Masked Prince. Ayobami was now in his early 20s and couldn't do most things that men his age do. His father told him that he would find him a wife, but Ayobami refused, saying that he would find a wife himself through the help of the gods. Bimpe, a princess of the Ife kingdom, has to attend the school meant for the Yoruba princesses. It will help groom them if they marry a king and also acquaint them more about their traditions and customs. She had attended it since she was 15, and by the age of 19, she was through with it. After that, she would go on tour to different kingdoms for a few weeks before she is then allowed to marry or do anything else. This time, Bimpe was going to the Iwo kingdom. She was shown to different historical places and artifacts. She really enjoyed her stay there. She even became a friend to Princess Folashade, the princess of the Oyo kingdom. The tour for the next year was in Oyo. Bimpe and other princesses arrived and were allocated to their rooms in the royal guest house. The next day, they toured around the city and were fascinated at the beautiful sights they saw. Bimpe was really enjoying her stay in the Oyo kingdom. Her brother wanted to come with her, but he also had princely duties in Ile-Ife kingdom. One night, Bimpe couldn't sleep, so she went out of the room to receive some fresh air. Maybe it would make her sleepy. She walked the palace grounds towards the garden, and a melodious sound could be heard from afar. She walked closer to see who could be playing the flute at this hour. She got close but could only see his back. "Hello," she said, and he immediately stopped playing and wore his mask almost immediately. Then he turned to look behind him. Who is she? Why is she out by this time? She looked so beautiful that it feels unreal. Different thoughts crossed his mind while he just stared at her. And after what felt like forever, he turned and left. Bimpe couldn't understand what had happened. Why did he hide his face? And why didn't he respond to me? Or is he a thief? But if he was a thief, he wouldn't be playing a flute. Why does he look so sad? Bimpe thought. She returned to her room after the encounter and slept. The next day was very busy for her, and when it was evening, she went back to the garden, and then she saw him again, playing his flute. He wore his mask as soon as he noticed he had an audience. He turned and saw that she was the girl from the previous day. He didn't wait for her to say anything. He just left. Bimpe really wanted to get to know him, but he always leave every time she was around. So she sat away from him and listened while he played his flute. After some days, she tried to approach him again, but he left just as he did the former times. Bimpe was attracted to how mysterious the young man was. She returned there the next day and found a hairpin. She took it, knowing who would have put it there. She touched it and smile stretched on her face, and then she promised to get him something in return. When she went out the next day, she saw a beautiful feather and ink. She bought it and also bought some materials for embroidery. She started the embroidery, and in the evening she went there and kept the ink and feather, coupled with the beautiful fragrance she had brought from her kingdom. All the while, she tried to ask around the palace if any of the princesses had seen anyone like that. They all declined. Folashade knew the description matched her brother, but she refused to say anything about it because she knew that her brother was very private about himself. She finished the embroidery and kept it there. It was that of a lonely masked man with a flute in hand. And she found a beautiful necklace when she went to keep her own gift. She really wanted to see his face, but he was avoiding her. They kept exchanging gifts. This was weird, but it was thrilling for Bimpe. On the last day before she left Oyo, she took the amulet that her mother had given to her and kept it for him and left a short note that said, "Find me." She didn't know what she was thinking, but she knew her instincts were guiding her. She only prayed that her mother would not ask about the amulet before it was returned. As she left the palace, she saw someone looking at her in the shadows. She didn't need a soothsayer to tell her it was him. One of the moral lessons of this story is that we shouldn't take rejection like it's the end of the world. It might just be an open door for bigger blessings. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment and share. Stay tuned for part 2. Bye.